What's happening, y'all? Listen, I'm back with another video. I wanted to drop this video real quick. It's going to be a little bit different from my normal videos. Normally, I talk about narcissistic abuse, but I feel like it's directly correlated because once I had my awakening from narcissistic abuse, I started to realize who I was in God. In the spiritual realm, I feel like a lot of us have been chosen, like from birth. We have been chosen by God, and we're here to fulfill a certain assignment. So this video is like an extremely important video to me. I've been wanting to drop this video for a little while now, but I just wanted to wait and make sure that I had all of the right words to say, and I felt comfortable actually presenting this information. So this video right here, I hope it doesn't get flagged or anything, but we're going to talk about chosen ones and near-death experiences. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of like my background, some of the things that I've been through and some of the things that I overcame throughout life, and basically talk about some of the near-death experiences that I had from childhood. So from a very young age, from the time that I could remember, I suffered from asthma real bad. Like, I had asthma extremely bad as a young child. I used to have asthma attacks all the time where I felt like I was going to die because I couldn't breathe, and I had to, a lot of times I would have to get rushed to the hospital and all of that kind of stuff, and I would have, have inhalers, and I would, even the paper bag trick, you know what I'm saying, breathing into the paper bag. Like, I remember all of that stuff as young as maybe 4 or 5 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I suffer from it extremely bad. So as my life progressed, I started playing sports. I started playing a lot of basketball and things like that. And the more and more sports that I played, it's like I outgrew the asthma, you know what I'm saying? So I no longer needed the inhaler anymore. Like, I still kind of felt like I didn't have as much wind as the average person, but once I got like all the way in shape, from like, basketball shape or football shape, whatever season I was in at that time, I was always, prepared for it, and I always, excelled and succeeded in it, and the asthma didn't bother me. Once I started like really getting into sports and really locking in on that. So it was kind of like, that was one of the first things that I had dealt with that was, like a near-death experience, but it was something that I overcame. So, also growing up as a young child, I always struggled with swimming. I have never been a strong swimmer. Like, it's crazy that I feel like I can do anything on land when it comes to like soccer, football, track, basketball, like any of that kind of stuff. But when it comes to anything that has to deal with deep water, that ain't my sport. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I try to stay as far out of the deep end of the pool, all that kind of stuff, because I have always struggled with swimming. So as a child, I had at least 4 or 5 almost drowning events. And when I say almost drowning, I mean literally like dropping down and like being underwater and going like blackout mode. And actually the last time that happened, so this happened at least 3 times in my childhood. And the last time that it happened was, I was actually in my 20s. I was probably about maybe 25, 26 years old, something like that. And I went to Ocean City, and I was dating this young lady at the time, and her and I, we were engaged. We were talking about, like, we were planning marriage and all of that kind of stuff, and we all in love and all of that. So I'm sitting there, we on the boogie board, y'all. I was on the boogie board, and her and I is just talking on, we just talking about like, potentially, us potentially probably getting married and all of that kind of stuff. So we all in love at this point. And so we just sitting on the boogie boards and we floating. And, they say like still waters, what I'm saying? Like, the calmest waters is like the most dangerous. So, you know, and the reason it is because you don't realize like the water is so calm. I'm just sitting on the boogie board and the water is just like pushing us out, pushing us out, pushing us out, further out, further out, further out. Now, remember, I can't swim. You know what I'm saying? I know I can't swim, but where I'm at in the ocean, like when we went into the ocean, I was able to stand up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm leaning on the boogie board and I'm not realizing, I'm thinking, it feels like we're in the same spot because the water is so calm. But slowly but surely, we just talking and we vibing and we not really paying attention. And we just floating further out and further out and further out until I looked up. And when I looked up, it was like, I couldn't even really see the land no more, y'all. So it was like, you know, the shoreline was so far away and I panicked, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I tried to see if I could feel the bottom. And I tried to like put my feet down to see if I could just, you know, get down and walk out. And when I went and put my feet down, I ain't feel nothing. It was nothing there. So I was like, oh my, and I panicked. And so, you know, I don't know if y'all, you know, about water pressure or whatever, but I got the boogie board in my hand and I got the little rope thing strapped around my wrist. And as I'm going down, I try to like struggle and hold the boogie board in place, and the water pressure just shot the boogie board straight up in the air, and I sunk, and it snapped the wrist cord off of my wrist, and I just sunk straight down, and I sunk all the way down. They said at that point, the lifeguards and everything were saying that I sunk down like 16 feet. So imagine not being able to swim, not knowing, you know, and I'm in 16 feet of water, and I sunk all the way down, and I hit the bottom, and I kicked up, you know what I'm saying? And I got all the way, I fought all the way to the top. And the girl that I was dating at that time, she was at the top, and I grabbed onto her, and I'm like, and now both of us are going down. So of course, you know, I'm not trying to kill her, but at the same time, I'm panicking because I can't swim. So but she could swim, and she was actually a lifeguard. So she, you know, held me up long enough, but I still went down. Again, I had to let her go because if I didn't, then I would have took both of us down and probably would have killed her as well. So I went down again. And the second time when I went down, I felt me like losing my faculties. I started losing like, you know, my consciousness. I felt like, you know, I had like everything went completely black for a second. So I hit the bottom again, and I felt myself hit the bottom, but it was like almost like a lifeless experience. Like I felt like I wasn't there for a minute, you know what I'm saying? It was just everything went black for a second, and then I came back to, and I pushed myself up to the top again. And so by the time that I pushed myself up to the top again, I grabbed onto her again for a second, got a couple breaths, and I went back down. And so the third time when I went back down, I got all the way to the bottom, and I kicked back up and I fought again. But I felt like if I had gone back down a fourth time, I don't think that I would have made it back up. You know what I'm saying? I was like that close to, you know, not making it. So, but the third time when I bounced back up, the lifeguards had made it out there. And so the lifeguards came and they, you know, they threw the rafts and all of that kind of stuff. And I grabbed onto the raft and they pulled me into the shore. And it was sad because like I'm 6'3". Let's see, at this time I'm like a little bit more in shape. I'm a lot younger at that time. I was like in my 20s. I was still kind of playing ball and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm like 6'3", like 250 at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big dude. And the girls that saved me, it was like two little teeny lifeguards. I was like 5'3", and it was like little teeny young girls came and saved my life though. And man, to this day, man, I appreciate. And I was following a couple of them. I was following one of them on Facebook for a while, but I don't see her post too much as often now. But yeah, so that was one of the situations that happened, and you know it was kind of funny at the end because once I got back to the shoreline, everybody like bust out laughing at me, man. They was, you know, I guess it was just funny seeing a big dude like me out there struggling, trying to, you know, swim, and see these two little girls come bopping, and you know, they they come and pull me out of the water. It was like, you know, it was something that we could laugh at now, but in that moment, you know what I'm saying, I really felt like I was gonna lose my life, so it wasn't that funny to me. I was kind of like, it was funny after the fact, but I was kind of pissed off that everybody was laughing, but it's all good. Like, we, you know, we smoothed it out, you know, everybody. I actually bumped into a few of the people that was out there on, you know, like still on the beach later on that night, and we chopped it up and had a good time. I had a good laugh about it and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm a good sport, y'all. So that was just another one of the situations that happened. So then I remember there was a situation where I was riding in the car with like my high school girlfriend. Her and I was leaving my parents' house. We had went to my mother's house for Christmas. And we were just having, you know, normal Christmas dinner. It was a good, you know, laughing, joking, having family time, that kind of thing. And we were on our way back, and it was snowing a little bit outside. And there was a pickup truck in front of us on the highway that we were on. And the pickup truck had a Christmas tree on the back. And we were just riding, and, you know, it's not heavy traffic, but it's traffic out. You know what I'm saying? It's off the late night, but it's a holiday, so it's a lot of people still moving around, that kind of thing. So we're on the highway, and the tailgate of this truck that's right in front of us just so happens to just fly open. It was like some Final Destination type of stuff, y'all. So like the tailgate just like flies open, and the Christmas tree that was on the back just flies out, and it flew right in front of the car that we were driving. I was, you know, in the middle of driving, and the young lady that I was dating at the time, she was in the passenger seat. We were actually in her car. It was a little, I don't know if y'all remember the little neons. She had like a little Dodge Neon. It was a small one, so it was like the old body style. And so I'm thinking like, this little teeny car not gonna take that tree hit right there. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get punished. So at the last minute, it's like I saw the tree, I saw everything happening. And when I say certain things happen like in slow motion, sometimes it's like I saw the tree falling, and I had enough like reflexes or whatever to like swerve at the last minute. I swerved and missed the tree, but once I swerved and missed the tree, the car just went spinning. So the car literally, like, now we're in the second, it's like maybe a 4-lane highway. We're in like the second to the right lane, and the car spent from that lane through the next lane all the way through the fourth lane all the way to the shoulder, and blew out both of the tires. It blew out like 3 of the tires actually, you know what I'm saying? So blew out a bunch of the tires and all of that kind of stuff. But while the car is spinning, the young lady that I'm with, she is like going crazy. She's hysterical. She's she's, you know, screaming to the top of her lungs and all of that. And like I said, for me, everything was like still like in slow motion. It was like I'm seeing the car spinning, and I'm seeing the traffic, the oncoming traffic, and the cars are like whizzing by, and it's like it just missed us. It's like, okay, boom, this one just missed us. Boom, that one just missed us. Okay, boom, this one just missed us. And all of the cars got out of the way, and we made it all the way to the shoulders. The tires and everything was blew out, but no other impact. It was like, you know, it was like the angels just had us, you know what I'm saying? That car spent across 3 lanes in oncoming traffic, and nothing else hit us, you know what I'm saying? So she's hysterical, but I was so poised, like I was so, it was like I didn't have time to be afraid because she was so scared, and I was trying to calm her down. And I'm like, babe, we all right, we good, you know what I'm saying? Everything cool, like, you know what I'm saying? We good, we all right, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to calm her down. And I guess, you know, because she panicked the way that she did, I didn't really have a chance to be afraid in that situation. But I was more so shocked that, like, I didn't feel that type of fear, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the same type of fear that she felt. It kind of threw me off, because I'm like, damn, like, that was a real live scary situation. And after the fact, once everything calmed down, it kind of like hit me. I guess my adrenaline was pumping so hard that in the moment, everything just seemed slowed down. Everything just seemed um, like I could just see that we was gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just feel it, and I could just see like we gonna be fine. And I'm in the middle of in the same way that I'm talking to y'all. I'm not like screaming. I'm like, babe, we good. Don't worry about it. We all right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm grabbing her hand, and the car is spinning. And she's like screaming hysterically, and I'm like, babe, we all right, don't worry about it, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just seeing like everything. It's like I'm seeing all of the cars coming, and I'm like, I can't really. I'm out of control at this point. Like the car is, just spinning at this point. So it's like not like I can just grab the wheel and it's nothing that I could do except just let the spin happen and hopefully we make it out of it. But like I said, we spent from the second right hand lane all the way to the left hand shoulder, and ended up just blowing out 2 or 3 tires. I ended up calling my parents that came, and we did the tow truck thing and all of that kind of stuff. But that situation always kind of stuck with me because I was like, damn, I felt like I had been through so much at that point. You know what I'm saying? I like, even with as far as like overcoming the asthma, and these are just some of the moments that kind of stand out to me when I started realizing like things were a little bit different for me, even from a young age. And I had been through a whole lot of other stuff that I can't even really recall at this moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I'll have a bunch more videos coming about this kind of stuff, because I definitely see the value in making, getting away from narcissism all of the time and getting into like healing and knowing who you are spiritually, knowing who you are in the Lord, and, just trying to progress in your path in life. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to start kind of switching my content. Not necessarily, I'm still going to, talk about narcissism and talk about my experiences with it and all of that kind of stuff every time that I see that it's something of value to share with you guys. But I'm starting to see value in also bringing you some of like my other life experiences that I feel like I can share with you guys and that you guys will find some value in. So that was, one of the things that stood out to me is like I had been through asthma, overcame that. I had been through this, and I had almost drowned a bunch of times and all of that kind of stuff, and that kept happening. And it was kind of like a callus was being built. It was like, okay, there's a purpose for my life, and I felt like there was a purpose for my life, especially after a few of those drowning situations, because of the fact that I'm like, I could have been gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could have been gone right then and there. I could have, but it was something that I'm still here for a purpose. So after that, I always knew from a young age that I had a purpose behind my life. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things about chosen ones. It's like you may not even know your purpose at the time, or you may not know why you even exist, but you always felt like there was a purpose behind your existence. There was a purpose behind you being here, and it was more so. It was more than just living this trivial day to day. Go to work, do this. Like you probably had this urgency in you to do something big in your life since you was a child. If you was a true chosen one, I can't remember a time where I didn't feel like I was going to be doing something extremely big and impactful. Not like big all the time, and it's not always financial. It's something like impactful towards the world. It's like I always thought about stuff that leave your mark on the world, and most of that came from, I feel like because it was always something that had to do with God's work. It was always something that had to do with trying to better the environment or better the community or better the people around us in some type of way, or and not saying that I am any type of savior, but I do believe that he gives us assignments, you know what I'm saying? And it's on us to figure out what those assignments are and follow through on them. So, but for me to fulfill whatever assignment that I had in my life, I had to be extremely fearless. I couldn't be scared of shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So I had all of these situations that continued to happen, and it was just, hardening my heart in a way, not necessarily saying, because I still have empathy and I still feel and care for people and all of that kind of stuff, but hardening my heart in a way of not being afraid of nothing, you know what I'm saying? So I've always walked with a certain confidence. I've always, even in situations where I know I should be, afraid, I've never been afraid. Like I said, when that car was spinning, everything kind of just happened in slow motion, and I saw it. And because I could see it in slow motion, I wasn't scared of it, you know what I'm saying? So I remember another time I was in high school, we went to this party. It was like a graduation. We had just graduated, and it was all of these parties that we was jumping and going to. And we went to a party which was in a actually particularly decent neighborhood. It was like a pool party that was in a neighborhood where you wouldn't expect nothing, because there's a lot of neighborhoods that you do expect something like this to go down. But this neighborhood in particular, it was like you didn't really, it's kind of like the upper scale of Prince George's County. So we, you know what I'm saying, we not thinking nothing like that is going to happen at this party. But we get to this party and we in the pool, we chilling, me and all my fellas and a couple of ladies that we, kicking it with, all that kind of stuff. We chilling in the pool, and the next thing you know, we hear two dudes get to arguing and beefing. And so, you hear one dude like, I bet, I'll be back. And so of course, when you hear that, you like, I know what's coming after that. So I'm like, all right, bet, it's time to go. So we jump out of the pool, we drying off and all of that kind of stuff. And while we, in the middle of like getting our clothes and stuff together, sure enough, the dude come back and he just get to tearing the house up. He come back with some heavy stuff too, you know what I'm saying? He coming back with 30 round, he shooting 30, he shooting 30s, you know what I'm saying? He's shooting big boy guns and stuff like that. He ain't shooting no pistols, he's shooting big stuff. So he's just shooting wild. And like 2 or 3 people got hit that night. A girl got hit in her neck and was paralyzed, man. So, and this is like a sad story that, because I know that girl personally, so it's still kind of like a hard situation to talk about. But a young lady that I know, she got paralyzed that night, and a few other people were wounded in that same situation. But so they shooting, and we running, and I'm running up along the side of this house, and the bullets are so close to me, they chipping away the siding on the house, like, the little plastic, the little vinyl siding on the house. It's hitting that right in front of me. I'm talking about like the bullets is hitting so close to my face, like the wall is right here, and it's hitting ping, and it's tearing the house up, but it's like, you know what I'm saying, and it's just missing me, you know what I'm saying? And my only thought was like to get out of there. But what ended up happening is like we were all running through the side of a house, and it was like a fence. And so, just kind of like, y'all seen those concerts when people trying to run out the exit at the same time, and, it's just like a traffic jam. So like people started getting trampled and all of that kind of stuff. So I actually got stuck where like my legs were stuck, like I'm on top of the power boat. It was a bunch of people up underneath me, and it's like everybody had kind of jam packed. So I couldn't get my legs out, and the dude's still shooting. So he hitting at the house, hitting, and the bullets is flying around me, and all I could do was really duck and try to fight my legs up out of there. And once I got my legs out, I took off again, started running, you know what I'm saying, got to the car, and it was what it was after that. But yeah, it's like, even in that situation, of course I was getting out of there, and of course I'm ducking and you know what I'm saying, but I didn't realize how, like, the severity, it didn't hit me of how close everything was until the situation was over. And, it was one of them things where I couldn't have no fear in that moment. I just had to react. So one of the things, like I said, I feel like a lot of these stories that I'm telling y'all right now is more so to show you that some of the things that you go through in life, some of the experiences that you go through in life are to shape and mold you. Like, just like demons and narcissists, they do grooming, and they try to groom you into a position and try to mold you into a position. I feel like God also molds you into the person that you need to be strong enough to face your assignment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one of my assignments was, I think, being able to talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? So as a child, because of the a lot of the trauma and stuff that I had gone through as a child, and a lot of the things that I had gone through as a child, I feel like I silenced my voice. I stopped talking. I went into a shell of myself, and it was meant for me to be able to speak to people. It was meant for me to be able to get on here and help people along throughout, the difficulties in life, because I've always been that person, even, amongst my friends and my loved ones. Like, people always come to me and, look for wisdom and advice. I mean, even from a little child. And like I said, my mother used to always tell me, man, you're gonna do something speaking to people. And I never really looked at it like that, because I had let a lot of, insecurities and stuff break me down because of some of the things that happened in childhood that made it like, well, I don't want to, you kind of go into a people pleasing mode where you just want to do everything right, because you kind of want to stay invisible, because you don't want to bring no attention on yourself, because all you see around you is negative attention being slung at each other and all of that kind of stuff. So if all you seeing around you is that, you kind of want to stay out the way, be the good kid, never get in trouble, had a good grades. That way is no attention directed at you. And because you don't have that attention directed at you, it's kind of like, okay, well, out of sight, out of mind, cool. I'd rather be here than to be outspoken and, share that I have value in the situation as well, and all of that kind of stuff. So as a child, you can't really do a lot about that situation. But as an adult, I feel like a lot of those life experiences were gaining it was growing a callus. Just like, you work out all the time and all that kind of stuff, you'll get a callus on your hands, all of that kind of stuff. So it's actually to protect you from when you go into, I know sometimes it hurts and that kind of stuff, but it's really forms to protect you, because you're doing that type of activity over and over and over again. It's like your body is going to naturally callous up. So I think a lot of the stuff that we go through is to callous us in a point where we're fearless, where we are we have enough strength in us to get our assignment done. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, a lot of the hard things that we experience and we go through in life, I feel like it's shaping us and it's molding us to fulfill our purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to complain about the hard things that happen in life. I've always just kind of taken things in stride, and I've always felt like, having faith is as small as a mustard seed. Like, having just a little bit of, just enough faith in God that he's going to pull you out of that situation and turn things in your life around for you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the things that has always kept me on a path moving in the direction towards him. Now, of course, I'm not perfect. Like, none of us are perfect. We stray off the path. We end up dealing with narcissists. We end up, and a lot of that has to do with us living lustfully and all of that kind of stuff. We are living, like the Bible says, we perish for the lack of knowledge. So a lot of us didn't know that we were, even involving ourselves and stuff like that. We thought we were just in a loving and healthy relationship at the time, and then all of a sudden things flip and go crazy, and then you realize, oh, nah, this ain't what I thought it was. And then now, you stuck in a situation, like, or at least I'm stuck in a situation. So I try to, drop the little jewels on my channel that if you can get out. But like I said, this video is just more geared towards the chosen ones, man. And I just wanted to, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, if you know, definitely are a true chosen one, you have gone through some insurmountable stuff in your life and didn't realize how you was gonna get out of it, or you've had like extreme situations happen, extreme circumstances, like what I'm talking about here, like near death experiences, or everything in your life has always been like an uphill battle, and that battle is callousing you. You know what I'm saying? It's callousing you so you can reach your full potential. And I feel like a lot of the things that we go through have to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's no explanation behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we have to, like, I think that's one of the things that even in the Bible where it says like lean, you know, lean not unto your own understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to realize that a lot of these things are in play, and it has to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take it in stride, do the best that you can, and be who you know who you are at heart. Because I feel like God puts, you know, God is going to examine our hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we do bad deeds, and, you know, we commit sins, and we, you know, repent and ask for forgiveness, but he's going to examine our hearts. And I feel like, you know, one thing about me, I can always say, I haven't always been a perfect person, but my heart has always been in the right place. You know what I'm saying? And even if I ever hurt anybody or anything like that, my heart was even still in the right place. And, you know, most of the situations that I can ever think about, you know what I'm saying? So I just, I feel like, you know, this is a very important topic because, like I said, it took me a while to even realize how to like verbalize this, because I knew that there was something different, and I knew that there was something in all of the hardships that I kept going through. And it seemed like as soon as one thing would happen and I would get over that, then something else would happen. And then, you know, then I would get past that and something else would happen. And then something else would happen. And it was like always this uphill climb. And I'm like, why is everything so hard for me? Like, why does it seem like, you know, my path, I'm seeing the people around me, and I'm like, why does it seem like, you know, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all of these other people, and all of these people seem to be moving smoothly throughout life. And I just keep, you know, having all of these different hardships, and and a lot of them weren't like of my creation. So like, I know a lot of people will take that and be like, you know, it's something that you're doing in your life. And nah, I mean, a lot of stuff happened to me circumstantially that now when I look back, I see that these things were happening to me because I've always had an assignment over my life, and there was something that I'm supposed to be doing, and all of these things happening were like pushing me in the direction and strengthening me to be able to, you know, fulfill that purpose. So, you know, chosen ones, man, I know the battle seems hard, and I know everything seems like, you know, you just don't understand why your life is so hard sometimes and all of that kind of stuff, because I feel that way a lot of the times. Even so, like, I literally had to bust out laughing the other day to, you know, like the laugh to keep from crying type of thing. It was like literally I had to bust out laughing, just looking at some of the circumstances I had been through and overcame, and just like, why was that even a thing? Like, what was I supposed to be learning from that? And then hindsight is 2020. So then you realize like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to learn from this. And so, but you know, when you're going through it, it's like, what is happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've had so many wild, crazy situations happen in my life that it's like, you wouldn't even believe it. But now I realize why so many things happen to me, because I'm supposed to share these stories with y'all. I'm supposed to share my experiences with y'all. And I see that in the comment section that obviously I'm relatable. You know, a lot of you guys, you know, can feel my story because you guys have been in the same place. And so I feel like, you know, I'm here to not only share my story, but encourage you guys to come on and share your stories as well, man. And, you know, it's not necessarily meant for everybody to have a YouTube channel, but whatever your assignment is, whatever your lane is, and once you figure it out, then you'll realize why you had so many hardships, why you had to go through this, or why you had to go through that, and why these things continuously happen in your life. So, like once you got over this, then you had to go and you know, you ran into this problem. And so, you know, I really feel like all of this is just building that callus up on you, man. So I just wanted to drop that video for y'all, man. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will check back into probably tomorrow. I'll probably try to drop a video with you guys. But I'm going to do a lot more of these chosen one videos because I think it's real important that once you go through narcissistic abuse, coming out of the other side, realizing who you are and realizing why the narcissist chose you, why they attacked you, why does it seem like the devil is, you know, throwing all of these blockages in your life and all of that kind of stuff, like why all of these things are happening. And I think once you come out the other side of narcissistic abuse, you start to realize who you are in the spiritual realm. So I just wanted to drop that, man. I hope y'all find some value in that. I love you guys, and I will talk to y'all later. Salute.